I'd like to call the meeting to order. Public notice, Board of Commissioners, Home and Terrebonne Housing Authority, regular board meeting of the Board of Commissioners, Thursday, August 29th, 2024, 3:30 p.m., 124K Senator Circle, Homer, Louisiana. We'll start with the prayer. Mr. Donald?
I learned how to do this.
Okay.
Let's pray the Lord's Prayer. It's found in St. Matthew's Gospel, the 6th chapter, and it's the Lord's Prayer, and it has power. Let's pray together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Don.
You're welcome.
Roll call.
Commissioner
So
Burke,
much.
Commissioner Brooklyn,
Here.
Vice Chair Piku,
Here.
Chairman Beaver,
Here.
Commissioner Sherman.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Order of the day, approval of agenda.
The agenda will proceed as published.
Okay. Public comment, I have one comment card for Mr. Carl Harding.
Go on. Why don't you come in the middle where we can hear?
That's fine.
Well, first of all, I must say it's a pleasure to be in the comforts of this place that you have here. It's a pleasure to see you guys up here. My speaker card, it says that in general that I actually have to get some information, and I actually what has puzzled me that I was asked not just as soon as I come in the door, but I've asked before, why wasn't I at the last meeting? And then I'm very, very curious, so that's why I want to go on record to say that, you know, from the moment that the hurricane that was going to hit Bayou Towers, 6 o'clock in the morning, I was there. When they had all the other problems with Bayou Towers, you know, meaning whether it was the elevator, whether it was the air conditioner, whether it was everything else, I had care and compassion for the Bayou Towers. I have care and compassion because it sets in my district. It sets in the view of my living room window. So not only as the councilman of District 2, I am a resident of District 2 and actually have to see the conditions that it is in now. I have to walk through the community to actually hear the comments of some of the folks that are still affiliated with the high rise and their family members. So I would like to go on record that whenever there's an opportunity that you as a board would feel as if me, Carl Lee Harding, Councilman of District 2, that there's a 215 Prince Collins that represents the members of that particular Bayou Towers. I don't care what part, me personally, don't care what part of an administration does not agree with me being in the meeting, but that you feel as if that I need to be in a meeting, please contact me. I would prefer that to happen that way. I don't know why, but I want to go on record to find out why I was not invited to the meeting. And so, you know, I think for the last 4 years, I have had the interest not only of you guys, but the people that actually were residents of the Bayou Towers and the opportunities that may be presented through this board, HUD, and all the other agencies that have the betterment of Terrebonne Parish.
Mr. Gall,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
meeting are we speaking of that you weren't?
That was a meeting that that HUD had. I think with you guys.
We had a meeting last week, I think.
You had a meeting last week?
I just wanted to specify for the record.
Oh, well, thank you very much,
Okay.
for guiding me in the right direction. So I have a care and compassion with it. I don't get into the politics, I'm looking at the people. But I think you're not doing the people any good by having representation of that representative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Carl. And that's the only speaker card we have, right? Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, approval of minutes from June 28, 2024, regular board meeting. I do have a correction to the minutes. On the second paragraph, first line, Mr. Piku's name is misspelled. I know it's minor, but since it's a name, we really need to have it corrected. So in approving the minutes, please approve it with corrections. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Piku
That's motion to approve with corrections, right?
with corrections.
Yeah.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Sherman. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Bills and communications. Approval of pay vouchers for period June 15th, 2024 to August 15th, 2024. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Sherman, seconded by Mr. Burke. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Report of the Secretary, Executive Director, Agency Update.
My agency update is in everyone's packet. It have a few, things that I highlighted that I wanted to go over with you all. We had tree cutting done in, Doosan, which is complete. They are currently doing the tree cutting now in Senator Circle. We do grass cutting every 14 days at both properties, which you all can see once.
It look good,
Yes.
look real good.
Thank you. Weather permitting, because if it is raining, you know, back here, it gets saturated, same thing in Doosan. If it's saturated, they cannot cut the grass.
Okay.
I was impressed, they got at it this time.
Yes, they have. It's a different property. The units have been, boarded up. Not sure if you've seen all of the units, windows, doors, everything. That is complete. The water leaks at Senator Circle have been repaired. We had, in the last month, I think we had like 4 or 5 different water leaks where it did affect the 2 residents that's on site. It also affected the staff here. Our water was cut off at the office, but Mr. Earl Knockan have repaired all of the water leaks that we had in Senator Circle. So hopefully, in the future, there's nothing. But hey, we don't know for sure. Right now, we have a company on site that's doing the panels. We are putting the panels back up that was damaged from the storm. Not sure if you all noticed, around Senator Circle, we had different panels that was knocked down. And we also have the 2 fence, the gate that we put up. The gates, once we are able to help the last 2 residents find housing, we're going to have, the gates are gonna be closed at night where people won't have access to come in, take anything else that we have back here. We have a gate here also at the front office that only staff have keys to get in and out of. But the panels are going back up. Hopefully in the next week or 2, that's completed. I want to put on the record that the Housing Authority has been looking for locations to rebuild. Fire Tower, Senator Circle. Of course, I can't say for sure what we're going to do, but we are looking to find lanes somewhere, different locations that's not in flood zones, so that we can rebuild Via Towers. Right now, we're still going through the FEMA process with both sites, but I did have a Section 18 application on file with HUD for Via Towers, and that was approved. And I'll let Jamie from the Salsa Group elaborate on our FEMA process and where we are with both sites. And I think that's it, that what I had. Not sure if anything on the agency update that you all had any questions about. Sorry, I forgot. Yesterday I did attend the HTHA training. New laws are gonna go in effect January 1st, I believe. Also wanted to elaborate on the meeting that we did have that Mr. Carl spoke of. Mr. Larry and Mr. Danny did attend the meeting when HUD came down on last week on Wednesday. with the parish, president in regards, just to make sure we get a lot of things cleared and all narratives could be the same. So, neither one of the councilmen for, Senator Circle or Bias Howard did attend the meeting. I requested that they come to the meeting. I was told no. So Mr. Larry attended, Mr. Danny attended, Jamie attended, and we had 3 reps from HUD, Miss Kelly Bernando, and the parish president were all in attendance for the meeting. Not sure if Mr. Danny got a chance to speak with anybody on the board in regards to what it was, or Mr. Larry, but I feel like that meeting, hopefully we just can move forward and we can make Terrebonne better. So not sure if any of the commissioners had questions into regards of anything dealing with the meeting. I did wanted to acknowledge that Ms. Gibbs, that's the HUD director, she's here today with Ms. Lee. She's also with HUD. Mr. Brian Pleasure, he's the councilman where Senator Circa sits in his district. And Mr. Carly Harden is here, Bias Howard sits in his district. So not sure if you can welcome them or anything that the board had to say. If y'all wanna, hi. Yes, you,
We're glad to,
yes.
we're glad
Mr.
to see
Pleasure.
y'all here.
I got a question for y'all. What y'all think of the play?
I'm sorry?
What you think of some of the circle?
Oh, I mean, it's really moving forward. I can see a lot of work being done to at least maintain what's not here. And ultimately what's here is, it's designed to house the folks of my community, I should say. But I think this staff and the folks here are doing what they have to do to make it better, or at least keep it up to par while you guys are in the process of trying to do things to get it back where it needs to be. But all in all, it's been good. But I do have one question, if I may ask. I noticed in this Ms. Gilton's explanation or update on the meeting with the parish president and you guys and some HUD officials as well. If I can ask, whose directive was it that we not come to the meeting?
What not?
Oh, clearly, it wasn't. Okay, that didn't come from you guys, so I'm assuming that had to have came from the parish president. Okay, that's all I got, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
If you want to say more, you can have a little bit of my time.
No, we're good. I just in sort of to piggyback off of Mr. Harding, I encourage you guys to please reach out to me in the event, or if there's a need, or if there's any help that I can do to be able to help the Senator Circle community, or you guys here, or just in general. And there's a big need for that, because I'm going to try to start attending you guys' meetings a little bit more, because I do have constituents that are concerned. And with that, I'm able to share without even meeting with you guys of just what I see of the, grass being cut, trees being cut, boarding the place up, even though we shouldn't have folks stealing, but it is what it is there. But again, whatever I can do to help, just let me know. And I encourage you, if you need something from me, please reach out and let me know.
Yes, sir.
Kenny, you got their phone number, so
Yes, I have their contact information and I'll send it all to the
thank you.
the board. And I just want to make sure you all received a copy of the letter that I emailed. I know Mr. Donna said he hadn't received it, but I emailed it to you all, the letter that was hand delivered to me from the parish on Monday. It should be in y'all email. If y'all don't have it, I can get you a hard copy.
I just gave him, a silver.
That's usually,
silver,
yeah.
yeah. He might not have gotten it.
Okay, I'll get Mr. Gina a copy of it. I'll get you a copy at the end of the meeting.
Okay,
And
anything else, son?
no, ma'am. Y'all had anything for me that?
And I'm understanding this correctly, you asked Mr. Bergeron if both of these guys could attend, and you
I didn't
told
speak
him?
directly with Mr. Bergeron. I have to talk to him through Ms. Bernando.
Or
And I asked
Kelly?
him- yes,
Okay, so
and-
you asked Kelly?
yes.
And then
She-
Kelly asked him, and then evidently the
I don't know
answer
if
was
Kelly
no.
asked, well, Kelly just told me that the answer was no.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I wanted Jamie to elaborate
Oh,
on the
okay.
FEMA.
I thought you did
Yeah,
say
I'm
that.
done,
I'm
but
sorry, Jamie,
I
I
wanted
didn't hear
to
you
give
say
an
that.
update.
That's
for-
okay. I'm used to being dismissed. He does it all the time. I'm just joking. First of all, I don't know if Drew's been formally introduced. Drew is our construction manager. If there's anything with whether it be fences or the roofing or trees, or he's usually he drives down here and tries to keep the contractors on board. If there's anything specific you guys need or want that with the contractors, he's really the liaison for them. So if you, I think you all have his contact information. If you don't, before you leave, we'll get that to you. Okay. So, do you have anything you want to say, Drew, or about any of the projects, or?
No, I mean, the only thing that's lagging right now is the fence project. All the debris has been removed, all the roots, all the trees, all the broken posts, all the broken panels, all that's been removed, cleaned up, hauled away. Over the last 2 to 3 days, they set every post for the exception of what's in the front. So all those posts are set in concrete, curing, and if rain would let up, we could start installing the exterior panels. The rain's really been holding us up, and we're still waiting on the material for the front section that hasn't been delivered yet. So we don't have the post panels to connect the mechanical gate with the exterior. But everything should be done soon, 3 weeks.
Once you get the material, how long do you think it'll take?
Weather permitting and fences coming in. I think he sent us an email today asking for an extra 30 days.
It's a lot.
I don't think it's going to take 30 days, but
Drew's pretty tough on people. I will say this: Drew is really tough on people when he's used to driving. And one of the reasons we brought him on, Deborah, my boss, and the company, Deborah Solser, she brought him on because he's really a pain in the I'm being recorded, a pain in the butt for the contractors, because he drives people. He wants the people to get things done, and that's what he's been really good at in the private industry. If there's any way for us to get it done sooner, he will. He calls the people every day and says, "Why aren't you here?" And they're understanding your concerns. He is. I don't think he's as invested as you are, because I think you've been doing this a lot longer, and you come by every day and you can see it. But I think he's probably a close second of being invested in trying to get things done. He's really trying to push this.
I mean, look, the boarding up project that lasted less than a week. We were done. We gave them 30 days to do that, so that happened in 4 days. The mechanical gates, I mean, they were right on schedule. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. The tree cutting, I mean, week and a half, 59 trees gone, hauled off. They're still grinding stumps right now, so that was fairly quick. But the panels, all those panels had to be special ordered. They had to be made. So we're waiting on manufacturing, we're waiting on delivery. Now we got weather, so they're gonna get it.
Yeah. And if you want to call and choose someone out, please call Drew.
Call me.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah. No, but I really truly, he is very adamant about, and we talk on a regular basis, probably a few times a day, and we are interested in making sure that the place you get what you pay for.
Yep.
And so, but we are at the mercy of contractors, and you guys have been in the business long enough to know that contractors are what contractors are. He's driving as hard as he can, but we're at that mercy. Anything else about the current projects that are going on right now as far as the construction goes? I do want Mr. Brian, right?
Yes, it is.
I want to address one of the things you said, the things that are not happening. And I understand what you're saying, and it's a little bit of a knife, and it's not. We anticipated being much further along than we are right now. Really and truly, I understand that this is not just empty buildings; it's families that are not in housing. I take that personally, and I get that, and it really it bothers me a tremendous amount, because I grew up in public housing, and I probably would have been affected by this type of situation. It's unfortunate. I say it's unfortunate. It's not the most efficient system, and there's some things that I was telling some of the folks here today that there's some things that I didn't know that we should have done, or we should have looked at. And so we have to take our lumps on this. There's some things, but in the end, we're driving as hard as we can to get people back in housing. And it's not just numbers. It's people's lives. It's moms and grandmothers and brothers and sisters and kids that need a place to live. And so when you said that, I really take that to heart, and I don't want to dismiss the importance of having housing for people. And I want to apologize. Things that are out of our control, but there's some things that we could have looked at a little bit differently, and I'm sorry about that. Yes, sir.
I took it as in the progress that you guys have made, because there's been some significant progress with the boarding of the doors and the windows. I took it as that we don't have big ones coming in and stealing everything you got. Progress and actually having a 14-day schedule to cut your grass and having something that actually look like there is a possibility, if not here, but another location, that could be something. So some people can actually have something but not take care of it. You
Yes,
follow what I'm saying? So I took it as that from my position of being positive and knowing Brian, not to.
Yeah, absolutely, and I didn't take that as a negative, but I also take it as, I want to work hard. We want to work harder to make sure that people get in housing. That's our ultimate goal. And Nikki and the board hired us or brought us on to do that, and there's a lot of trust in us. And we really are working hard. There's a lot of team members that are trying to get folks back in housing. It's just a slow, terrible process. When we sat with the parish president, he's trying to push things and I just want to say that we don't dismiss that this is people's lives that are being disrupted. And so I want to make sure that we are being open and transparent and pushing as hard as we can. And that's Drew and the whole team behind us that you guys don't probably never get to see. But in the end, I communicate with Nikki a lot, and Nikki has a passion for this, and we really are driving to do that. So I would say, I give my business card out to folks. I think, Brian, I've given it to you the first time I met you. If you ever have a question or anything I can do to answer that, please feel free to do so. As far as the FEMA process in general, we're working through the 50% rule. And I've said this before, but I want to make sure I say this again. When there's a damage to a facility, and we say each one of these buildings are a facility, we have to go through the 50% process. So you look at how much it costs to replace and how much it costs to repair. And if the repair is more than 50% or 50% or more to a facility, then it's a replacement. So that's where that trigger is. We're working through that, and some of them you look at it and it's like it's a no-brainer. You can see that the roof's ripped off. You can see that there's mold, mildew, but in the federal government, the grant process, we have to go through these steps, and we have a whole team that are working through those steps and making sure that we're getting to that point. We have senior leadership of FEMA that we meet with on every Tuesday now, and that we're working with and trying to come to a resolution. And they're pretty eager to move this forward as well. Again, there's some things that we didn't know that we needed, and we found out that we needed, and we're working towards getting there. And that's through public adjusters, insurance adjusters, and all these different things. And so that's one of the things that we're working through right now. I think we're really in a much better place than we were even 30 days ago. And so we really appreciate, and I say this because none of you guys are, the people that live in the houses probably don't have as much patience as you guys do, because it's their lives, but I appreciate you guys' patience in working with us. So, but working with that for the Center Circle and Bayou Towers, I think Bayou Towers is going to be a little bit easier in a sense, and I think we're going to make some really good headway here soon. Nikki gave me to go ahead to look for some, I say scattered sites for some potential housing to try to get some people into housing. That's what she wants to do. And I think the board is on board with that too. We've looked at some land looking at real estate and how we can get people into housing as quickly as possible. And, you know, there's a lot of caveats and things that we have to go through, but we're working through that process. But I think for as far as the FEMA grants program goes, we're in a much better position than we were even 30 days ago or 60 days ago. And again, if you need my business card, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to entertain any questions you have and talk about the FEMA process and making sure I answer those questions. So I know it's not fast enough for the folks that need housing, but that's where we are. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Nope. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on. Number 9, discussion and possible action relative to naming the official journal 2024-25 for the Home of Terrebonne Housing Authority as required by LRS 43171. I need a motion.
It's for the courier center response.
Yeah, it's
It's in there, okay, I just want to
it's
make
in
sure,
there.
yeah, I want to make sure
Yeah.
everybody's seen it.
We'll have a
Yeah.
motion. I don't know.
motion by Mr. Sherman, second by Mr. Wilclain. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action relative to resolution number D 1065-24 declaring various property of HTHA as surplus and removing from inventory and authorizing the executive director to dispose of same in accordance with policy for disposition of property owned by HTHA. Before I get a motion, I have to ask, on Exhibit A, the follow-up, they got 2011 white Chevrolet Silverado with only 7,000 miles?
Yes, and it's supposed to be for Doosan as well. That's for Doosan Housing Authority. Yeah.
So that is correct?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Piku,
Second.
second by Mr. Burke. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Do I have any comments from any of the commissioners?
No, I appreciate it. I'll tell you, I appreciate Jamie. Appreciate you being there. Pleasure. People here that I don't even know, some of y'all.
Mr. Danny, I want to let you know that Antoine from Section 8 is also here. He's
Oh,
the
okay.
assistant director
Okay,
under Kelly.
glad to see y'all here. And to be honest with you, I see this thing moving along. I'm like Jamie. I sat here for months and months and months, and my stomach was going round and round and round to know that residents don't have a place to go. I know a lot of these people in this town. I want them in houses. And me and Mr. Larry work together a lot because we communicate a lot. I don't get to see Mr. Berg, and he lives right down the street from my house. But he's always at the coffee shop where I can't go, okay? But to see y'all here listening to what we're trying to do, man, it hits right here. To know that you're not coming in here to criticize us, to run us down, but to work with us. And we want to work with you people. But we got to watch how we work with you people, okay? So sometimes our hands are tied. But from me to y'all, thank y'all for being here today.
And y'all invited in at time.
Yes.
Always.
Alright.
Always.
Likewise, we respect you all. We respect our councilman, Carly Harding from District 2, and Brother Pledger, one of my deacons at my church, and a councilman from District 1. We appreciate all, and Mr. Sosa Group, Mr. Dams, and Mr. Group, and the FEMA rep. We appreciate y'all coming by, and above all, the HUD officials, Ms. Gibbs and her staff. Thank y'all for coming out and attending our meeting. And we appreciate the input that you all are doing with us, with Ms. Nikki and the staff, her management staff. We appreciate this all very much. We're looking forward to working with you all to better our community. It's our purpose that we're doing. We're doing our best to get everything back up and rolling. But it's a slow, long process. Without legal, we have the proper staffing to handle what we're doing. We appreciate y'all, and God bless.
It was a pleasure when you speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to, and I know I can probably give Jamie a call, but I'm gonna make this comment in order for, just to kind of put it out there, maybe if it is something that's possible, we can all kind of brainstorm in trying to help you out. But, Jamie had mentioned that you guys or he's been tasked with going out, finding, properties or what have you, as far as scattered properties, things like that, to possibly provide some housing. Now, I'm not sure of the requirement or how it works, but would it be, because it's in this community, okay? And I represent this community, and I've seen the worst case scenario after the storm, right? Right now, we're still coming back, just as you guys are coming back. But in a spirit of resiliency, is it an idea that properties, if it's scattered properties that you're looking for, you look in this community for possible properties that you can develop or do things to? Why I say that is because a lot of those folks that were displaced or not living here, you know, oftentimes when you uproot someone, a storm, of course, it's not you guys' fault, but it's hard for them to transition to another place, which they have, because they were forced to. But to bring them back would be even better, and that would just show that gold standard of, hey, you know, they went through the whole process. They had the storm, displaced, and they were able to come back. Maybe not to Senator Circle, but if we could look at properties in this you know, vicinity, in this area. And that's also what it's gonna do is, it's gonna help the community come back as well, you know, by way of, they might not be living here in Senator Circle, but if they're living 3 streets over, it's still growing the community. And it's just a thought. I don't know if that's a, you know, brainstorm out of this world, but I thought I'd put it out there to see if that's a possibility too, as you're looking for, you know, scattered properties, whatever that definition might be.
Okay. Nikki, you have anything to add to that?
Well, we can chat. Jason, not Jason. I'm sorry, Jamie,
Yeah.
Brian, and I. We can have a conversation.
I mean, so one of the biggest things that we want to look at is, you know, the new flood zones and affordability and elevation and how much it costs to, and that's one of the things. How can we maximize the amount of money that we get and impact the greater impact for the community? And if it's in a flood zone, it just makes it that much more difficult. So understanding what you're saying, we want to keep people where they live and as close to where they live and not disrupt us. But we also got to be smart with the money. It's not just how much it costs to rebuild, but for insurance purposes down the road. Because once you start using federal money, it's obtain, maintain insurance, and that is expensive. And it is just, that's the nature of the beast right now.
Yep.
Fortunately so.
Just to give you an idea, Mr. Pleasure, you got a complex in Homer right now, hotel complex. They were paying $80,000 for the insurance. You know what they paying right now? $291.
It's crazy.
That's how much they're paying. They are making a request to federal government to get help in the hotels.
Right. So, you know, those are the obstacles to overcome, and I don't want to dismiss anything. I think open conversation and being transparent is the most important thing, but, you know, we just have to lay all the facts out there and figure out a solution community-wide. But ultimately, it's up to the board, and, you know, it's not up to me.
And just to give you guys an update from the parish too as well, here in District 1, we're currently in talks as far as with our some architects and things like that, the St. Bernard project. And we're gonna be building right over here in Parkwood Place. And some of those very things that you're mentioning about flood zone and maps and things like that, the change in the dynamics. I've written many letters to LHC to get, you know, variances, just so we didn't have to
Yes, sir.
adhere to those requirements. You know, it was tooth and nail there for a little bit, but we were able to overcome it. And we're, by the first of the year, you guys should see some relief to helping you guys
Thank you.
going over that way too.
Be
So,
awesome. Mr. Carl, you had something to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna speak with these guys later, but then that's always been my thought, is the fact that once I found out that HUD perhaps is not gonna be building any more high-rise buildings. We also have another problem within Turkle Parish, is that There's a lot of light property, beginning to adjudicate the property. And then various locations, and of course, it's always a thing that we have to do with the location in reference to close proximity to supermarkets, ability to
Right,
to
right.
transit and those
Yeah,
things
we
like that.
understand that.
So similar to what Mr. Fletcher's talking about on this side of town is the fact that we can actually get a dual role in reference to those that are somewhat challenged in the economic area and those that are somewhat challenged in their younger years, even though they are their latter years. Look at those and try to bring the two together. My concern is the fact that when you are doing that, and you can actually find a lot of property that the parish may have. I made this conversation, the possibility of the conversation come out that this property that we have that's becoming a problem with the parish because it's costing the parish money. So if we can actually somehow or another set, even though I may say the parish, I sit there, sometime I'm sitting on one side of the table and someone else is sitting on the other side. You have to get them to come to that agreement. By the same token, if you get the 50% over here, that means that it actually telling you to actually build or refurbish what you have already here. It really dictate what you do with that 49% destruction. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to bear in mind that some of the things that you be looking somewhere else that you have to deal with right here.
Well, so that's one of the things when we have the meetings with the parish, and I know I dealt with Danny, Mr. Larry, and Ms. Nikki about this. Anytime we look at a property, we look at is it close to other what's the impact to the services of the community? Is it in a flood zone? Overall, how much is it going to cost for not just to build but to maintain long term? And making sure it's the right thing. And so that's, it's not as easy as just saying, oh, we're gonna get this money, we're gonna rebuild here. It's finding the right spot for the right people and the right services for the right people and making sure the community is taken care of. And that's one of the things that we always discuss. I mean, Mr. Danny drills that probably in me a lot, it's right next to the bayou, that's just one of the things, knowing the area, we talk about those things. And we also talk about with the parish, we're working with the parish too. And, we had that conversation, what properties do we have that might work for this to balance it out? And so, I think Nikki's done a really good job trying to work with them and trying to figure out where, how can we leverage what we have to what they have and make because, the housing is a big concern in this area, and how do we best serve the community? And I think it's just one of the big things to look at. So I appreciate the input, and we definitely take that in consideration when we're making these decisions or trying to make the decisions.
Right, we do. I have a question, Nikki. I know a long time ago when I was actually employed there, they purchased that property on the Bayou side, across from Bayou Towers. I don't know what the intent was, but nothing was ever built there or done with it. Can we just sell that?
Mr. Dane and I had that
Yes.
conversation.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so that's one I'm bringing to the board soon.
Okay,
I'm
good.
for. Yeah.
Good.
Mr. Dane brought that.
Yeah,
I think we talked about it a few months ago. I'm gonna bring it.
because
to the
that's
board.
just raw land, so
Yeah.
should be able to get rid of that. Okay, any other comments, commissioners?
Everything's good.
Okay, next, regular board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday?
Yes. Nevada and I both will be there. Thursday we're gonna be out of town at a conference.
Okay. September 25th, 2024, 3:30 p.m., 124K Senator Circle, Homer, Louisiana. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned. Second.
Motion by Mr. Piku, second by Mr. Sherman. All in favor?
Uh-huh.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.